Hello, my name is Carissa Purnomo and I am presenting on behalf of my team at the University of British Columbia's Interdisciplinary Speech Research Lab, our project, The Contextual Effects of Nasal Vowels on Velopharyngeal Opening in Quebecois French. Generally, oral sounds are characterized by a closed nasal cavity, and this closure comes from the velum, being flush with the posterior pharyngeal wall. In nasal sounds, however, the velum is dropped, allowing airflow to move and resonate through the nasal cavity and leaving a velopharyngeal opening, or VPO. Generally, we characterize nasality as either plus nasal or minus nasal, however, studies have suggested that gradations in nasalization may exist. Furthermore, nasality can occur phonemically as well as due to the surrounding context. Contextual nasalization is the co-articulatory nasalization of a speech segment due to the nasality of the surrounding environment. This is either anticipatory, where an oral sound is nasalized due to preceding a nasal sound, or carryover, the nasalization over an oral sound which follows a nasal. Existing literature has suggested that in French, which is commonly used in nasality studies due to its nasal contrast, carryover nasalization has a greater VPO than an anticipatory nasalization. However, many of these studies use more indirect measurements of VPO and or use less speakers. Our question is, what is the effect of phonemically nasal vowels on the extent of VPO for oral vowels in anticipatory nasalization versus carryover nasalization? In this study, we used University Laval's X-ray sonofluorographic database using data from 9 native Quebecois French speakers. We extracted and annotated frames from each video to determine the best path of velum line, which was used to measure the ratio of VPO for each speaker, 1 being maximally open, 0 being maximally closed. Figure 2 shows an example of this line. Using Montreal Forstliner and Pratt, we extracted timing information for each segment and combined this with the corresponding image frames. Using R, we used an ANOVA and a linear mixed effects model to conduct our analysis. On these graphs, the y-axis is the VPO ratio, while the x-axis are the context and participant sex respectively. Overall, the VPO for anticipatory nasalization was higher than that of carryover nasalization, and it would appear that this is the case across both sex groups, but in particular for males, the VPO for anticipatory nasalization was significantly larger than for carryover nasalization. However, after conducting our analysis, we found that there was a significant interaction effect between sex and nasal context. The summary of the predictor model revealed no significant main effect of sex or nasal context, but there was a significant nasal context-sex interaction effect. Overall, our results suggest that in Quebecois French, males have greater VPO for anticipatory nasalization than for carryover nasalization, contradicting the past suggestions in other French studies. This may support the notions of gradations in nasality rather than binary nasality. A possible reason for sex differences is that while males are reported to have more coronal velar closures, females are reported to have more circular closures, and due to the angle of video, we are only able to measure from one perspective. Here are our references, and thank you for listening.